Hey, welcome back everybody. Today we are going to get the garden ready. We're going to do some transplanting of raspberries, and we're going to talk a little bit about raspberry economics again because it just blows my mind every time we do this. So let's get going.
Well, today we're gardening. It's super nice out, and I've been wanting to move the raspberry bushes for a really long time from the upper garden, just because it's such prime property for us to be able to put our veggies. So we're moving all of our raspberry bushes down to the lower garden, which is kind of a mess because we don't get down here as often. So hopefully the raspberry bushes will kind of take over, and this will be our raspberry patch moving forward. This is the top garden, and we've already pulled out quite a few raspberries, as you can see the open space, but there are so many of them. God, it's like they never end. You pull one out and you see another 100.
Okay, so here's our annual garden bed, and we're going to focus a little bit more on tomatoes this year. And because of that, we need more space, and we had a big patch of raspberries here, if you guys remember. And I've been digging those out and selling them at the bottom of my street just to make some side income. But we planted about 6 raspberries in there, and they kind of took over the garden. And I have planted a whole bunch of other things in last year, like some perennials. So we've got sorrel coming up. You can see that we've got some carrots and stuff that have reseeded. Lots of garlic. We've got elderberries in here and strawberries, and we've got good King Henry. So we're already going to be eating quite a bit of food coming up, but we're probably going to put this mostly into tomato production because we're going to really focus on the things that we eat a lot of. Then we've got our compost pile here. This was the next level compost with horse manure, and there is tons of biochar in there. We got a whole bunch of greens from watercress down in the pond stream area. So lots of watercress and comfrey. Grass clippings were put in there. So we're going to rake back some of the wood chips, sift them out in this little sifter that I just made with pallets and hardware cloth. And so we'll rake that back. We'll put in some of the new manure, and then we'll put the compost back on top and kind of get this bed ready. We typically like to get the beds ready in the fall, but we didn't this year because I wanted to pull the raspberries out, and the best time to transplant the raspberries is actually right now in the spring. So other really exciting news is that I finally managed to convince my wife to do chickens. So we are going to get chickens this year. And the area that I'm standing in right now is my arbor that I'm growing grapes up over top of. And we're actually going to turn this area right here into a chicken food forest fun farm. So this is going to be so super exciting, and I definitely hope that I can do it justice. I'm trying to mimic what I see on Edible Acres channel, parts of his setup where, you know, he's got chickens walking around. There's elderberries for them to hide under. He can shake elderberries off, you know, make them fall. There's mushrooms in there for them to peck at. raspberries, tons of things that chickens love, all growing around the perimeter. And I'm going to try to kind of integrate those chickens into that food forest, into like a chicken fun farm. So the preliminary design would be that maybe right along here is where we would have the first front gate and you can walk in, and then the coop would be in here underneath. We have grapes already established here. We'll plant some raspberries out, so that way we've got grapes coming up and over, and I can kind of just walk in here and I can snip, 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 let the grapes fall down, and the chickens get wonderful fresh grapes that are currently kind of just feeding the birds mostly, because the grapes are good, but they're not my best grapes. So we tend to eat these last. And then we've got raspberries planted all in here. We've got kiwi growing up this. So kiwi will be kind of available for them to peck at. And when it gets up above, we can cut the kiwis down. And then all of this food forest is going to be, a deep wood chip litter, and it will get tons of nutrient and fertility from the chickens that are going to be in here. So, these raspberries, the kiwi, the grapes over here, the peaches are going to be hyper fed some of the best nutrients possible. We'll probably take this out another section and have it out here. And then what I was thinking is, because we have a bit of a slope like this, I might cut a swale in here and run it right across, connect it into the shed, and come right across back here, so that any water that's hitting this area that's gonna, wash any kind of chicken manure type fertility away is getting stopped, held, and then gonna get fed into some kind of gill that I plant down along there. So I'm so excited about this. I've been wanting to do this for 5 years now, and finally got the go ahead to start chickens. Now, we're kind of going towards the vegan route. However, my kids love eggs. My wife loves eggs. I mostly want the chickens for the compost, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. We'll have tons of nutrient-rich eggs. We're going to have an integrated food forest system using animals. This is going to be a great place to feed all of our kitchen scraps into, run it through the belly of a chicken. We're going to do black soldier fly larvae kind of hanging off the side of the chicken coop, where the larvae will crawl up and escape out and fall right into the chickens where they can eat them. So we'll integrate some of these really exciting permaculture concepts all into a nutrient soaking food forest strip swale. It's going to be really fun. So hopefully we can get that going and established this year, and hopefully it all works out. So that was a bit of an aside, and these kind of things happen. I've been off with COVID, so I've had a lot of time to, sit and think and lie down and sleep. And, every moment I'm awake, I'm thinking of all these cool things that I can do and integrate in. So we started pulling up pictures of coops and all that kind of stuff. And my wife was excited about it, so I'm excited, super excited. Can you tell? Okay, so let's talk about where we're gonna put these raspberries. Okay, so there's the main food forest strip, and one area that I haven't quite developed yet is this back side. So you can see there's a lot of digging, and I've been planting a ton of the raspberries here, so that when I'm walking down this section, then I'm gonna have kind of a wall of green here all around, and that'll kind of really define this area and get it up and green, and separate walking areas and feeding areas. And while you're walking around here, you can just kind of forage and pick off some of the raspberries. And then now we're going to head down into the lower area, which is where the Old Man Walking Trail is and where the peaches are. And you know what? Forgive me for the moving camera. I don't have my stabilizer out, but I think I'll just keep the shot going so that you guys can kind of see how my land connects in. I think that's always nice when you can see how that happens. So you can see a lot of the digging here has been done to plant out all these raspberries, and this whole entire area, all these circular beds have been filled with raspberries. The green that you see is tulips, and tons of garlic popping up, and then I still have to clearly come in and wood chip, so I'm going to come in and mulch all this as well. And then this is an area where I sowed out a bunch of maples and ash and oaks. So we've got kind of like a little nursery area here. And then we've got more raspberries all planted up here. And this connects into the Old Man Walking Trail area with the pawpaws down in this area here. And this whole entire strip is south to north facing. So actually south is kind of there, this side. So north is here. So this big cedar kind of shades out parts of this, but the southern side here, or I guess kind of the west, southwest side, gets quite a bit of sun. So we've really focused a lot of raspberries in this area here. I haven't put them in and around the pawpaws because I want to keep this a little open, because we've got like little seedling pawpaws down in here, and I want to make sure that those can get up over the raspberries. They're a bit slow growers, so I want to make sure those get up over the raspberries before I plant out the understory layer for those. And then this whole area here, we've planted out tons of raspberries in this Old Man Walking Trail, just to make sure I don't step on them. This is 2 years later in the Old Man Walking Trail. So these leaves were basically just dumped out from leaf bags. I put the leaf bag itself down first, and then I just dumped the leaf bags on top of that. So I want to show you what the soil is like 2 years later. So this one used to be all grass, and the grass is just completely gone, and everything else is just nice soil. Super soft. And we can plant our raspberries. Anytime I dig in my garden, I always get garlic as well. So that's it. Just really, really nice soil. Just pull back. You get all this nice leaf litter. And just like, look at that. This used to be grass. And this is how you kind of reset an area so that you can plant in it. So what used to be grass is going to slowly become the forest. Roots.
This is a long one. Yeah, this is really nice down here. Crazy that this used to be grass. Okay?
Yeah. So these are some apples that I practiced my grafting on for deer. And we looked for late season holding varieties so that late in the season, like January, February, there's still some apples on those trees for the deer, because that's when they do a lot of the damage. So if you can give them food, you know, at the entry point into your systems, then they don't tend to push in as far. At least that's the idea. And then this whole area we've planted out with raspberries here. And then this whole area here is the wettest area. So we've got a willow, and we've got mulberry in here, elderberry, and we've added some raspberries. Probably put some strawberry in here. Strawberries like wet wet soils as well. So this is the Old Man Walking Trail. We're going to add in some of the tree time plants in there. We've also got another order in with our conservation authority. We're going to get a whole bunch of service berries and cherries from them, as well as a bunch of other stuff. I can't remember. High bush cranberries we're going to get specifically for the chickens, because chickens love those. And we're going to plant all of that probably in the next couple months, so stick around, and I hope that you enjoyed this little update, and I hope you'll enjoy following me around at all the new plants that we're going to be planting and adding in. And we'll have to do updates of Wildflower Hill, see how this is developing, and pond videos, and you know, the gardening season is just starting. We've got service berries blooming. So tons of fun videos for you guys to watch. Tons and tons of planting. I always think I'm almost done, and then I get all these ideas of all these things I'm going to do, like chicken fun farm over there. So it should be fun. Should be a great season. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one. One more thing before we leave. I wanted to mention one thing. I counted how many raspberries we transplanted today, and it was somewhere between 180 and 200 raspberries that we pulled out of that one area of the garden. And I planted around 7 raspberries that I bought originally like 4 years ago for $7 each. Now if you go $7 per raspberry times 200 raspberries, that's $1,400, and I transferred all that value down into my lower area. That's a lot of money, and this is why I keep saying that permaculture is great for saving the planet. It's great for fighting climate change. It's amazing for building wealth and sustainability and resiliency in your life. We had a box of raspberries out by the end of the driveway that we were selling for like 20 for 20, so $1 each, or like $2 each, or like 8 for 10. I think that's what we were doing. And those all went. They're all gone. So, you know, it's just weird. You plant these things, they give you resiliency, they feed your family healthy, nutritious food, and then you make money off of them, and they photocopy themselves. I just don't understand why everyone doesn't do this. If you're not already doing this, you have to get started. It's changed my life for the better in so many ways. Anyways, thanks for watching. It's raining, I'm cold. I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna get a nice warm tea and warm up and just relax for the rest of the night. Thanks everyone for your kind wishes on the last COVID video. For the most part, people were pretty nice. The first 2 hours were a bit of a gong show with all the bots that come out, but you know, everyone was super supportive, and I'm really personally happy that I can get that message of gratitude out to everybody. But going forward, we are definitely going to be focusing on gardening videos because it is gardening season, and I am pumped. See you guys later.